Hey, welcome to my channel. If you like what you hear, please subscribe below. My name is Alexandria, and I am creating health content, writing information for nurses and other healthcare professionals who are interested in becoming freelance writers. And today I'm going to be talking about why you should or maybe should not start a website to promote your business. So let's get into it. So, creating a business is hard enough, but a lot of the time, even as a freelance writer, you think, well, do I really need to do all of that? Do I need to promote myself? The answer is yes, you need to promote yourself. And sometimes social media just may not be enough. LinkedIn is a great place to professionally promote yourself. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, all of these sites for social media can also be places for you to promote yourself, but sometimes none of them may provide everything that you need to really promote the best version of you and your content writing business. And so you might think about starting a website. Now, I'm not going to tell you that you absolutely must create a website just as soon as possible, but I do think that it is worth thinking about, and I do recommend it. But I understand that throughout my process, and I'll talk a little bit about that throughout this video, it can take up some time, and there's a lot of places to go, so it can be a little overwhelming. But first, I want to talk about maybe some of the pros and benefits of having a website. So one of the benefits is that the cost of starting a website is actually not that bad. You're talking about, maybe a few $100s for several years of having a domain name. So that was one of the funnest parts for me when I created my website, was really kind of picking out my domain name. Who was I? What was my business name going to be? And did I want my business name to be the same as my website? Obviously, that makes it easier, but you'll find that you want things that are catchy, and sometimes your business name might be just a little too long for a website name. So, but either way, starting a website really is fairly low cost in comparison to some other things that you may need as a freelance writer, like the cost of networking and going out to different cities and states to network with people who might be your future client. You want them to have a place to go in order for you to really kind of put your best foot forward, and a website might be that route. What I love about a website is that it allows you to put your bio on display. So things like your About Me section, that's really a place for you to kind of shine and tell people who you are and why you got into freelance writing. And it can be really, you know, maybe not therapeutic is the right word, but it can be really insightful for you to understand exactly why it is you got into freelance writing, and be ready to say that every time you get in front of someone who's a potential client. That can really shine through in that About Me section of your website. Then you can have another section or another page that's just for your blog. Maybe you're putting out a monthly newsletter or a weekly blog and you want to highlight it. You can have that on your website. You can also put your services on your website. Another page can be your paid or published articles. You can also have a contact page, right? Because people need to know how to get in contact with you. So these are all benefits of having a website. Also, a website really kind of identifies you as a professional in that particular space. So in this instance, freelance writing, a website really kind of signifies that you have gone the extra mile to let people know My name is Alexandria Jones Patton. I am a freelance writer. I write on cardiovascular care and mental health and have a background in these areas. Therefore, I am a subject matter expert. These are things that, you know, really can't always be expressed in a headline on LinkedIn or other social media pages. So I recommend that you think about getting a website started. Getting a website started, though, does not come without cons, and or maybe not, maybe cons, or maybe con is a strong word, but there can be some setbacks. There can be some not so pleasant things about starting a website. For example, I am not a graphic designer, so things like colors and making something aesthetically pleasing, that was probably the toughest part for me about starting a website, because I just wanted everything to be pink. If I'm being honest with you, I wanted everything to be my favorite color, and I didn't really care if the colors matched all the time. But as you grow, you learn to not do that. But one of the cons of starting a website really is the time. It can take a lot of time if you don't have a background, as I said before, in graphic design or in website building. It can take up a lot of time to create a website. I think for me, I think I built my website in a weekend, but it was a long weekend. Like, I mean, not, oh, I had Friday or Monday off. I mean, it was a long time trying to understand exactly how a website is built. And obviously, you can go to places like YouTube or, other social media channels where people will have these videos and reels on how easy they think it is to start a website. But for me, I found it to be very time intensive, and it is something that you have to consistently update. I update my blog weekly, and then at least once a quarter, I try to update my website with all of my paid articles, so that as I'm continuing to send people there, they see the most recently published material. Another con for me when I started my website was understanding all of these platforms that are out there promoting themselves as website builders. And there are a lot. I think the top ones are Wix and Squarespace. I think GoDaddy is still hanging in there as a website builder, and even Canva. Canva just came out of nowhere. They're promoting, creating PowerPoints in their website or on their platform, and they're promoting creating like one-page websites. So I think Canva is going to be on the way with being a website builder, like full blown, by the time this video comes out. But there are a lot of platforms, and the reality of it is everybody's going to try to sell you on what platform should work for you. But really, it's just based on your skill set and your knowledge. If you are well versed in being a website builder, I've heard that Wix is probably the better way to go. I was not well versed in being a website builder or knowing anything about website building, but I just fell into Wix. For some reason, I just didn't want GoDaddy, and I really wasn't paying attention to Squarespace at the time. And just at that point refused to learn about Canva because I just didn't want to learn about one more platform. But they all have their own strengths and weaknesses. So I recommend that you spend some time really kind of learning those platforms before you invest, because you will spend money with any of them. And they all have pluses and minuses. So yeah, those are my pros and cons of building a website. I think you should really consider getting one, but if you don't, that's okay. If you decide that you want to host all of your articles on LinkedIn to start, do it. If you want to host all of your articles on All Nurses to start, do it. If you want to host all of your articles on Medium to start, do it. But I do think eventually, as you become more of a well-known freelancer, you're going to want to invest in your own website. That's it for today. Thank you so much for being here. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to this channel.